Neutrality in therapy. What the hell is that really about? Let's talk about this first idea that therapists think they can be neutral observers, just reflecting back what you say, and somehow magically healing you. That's bullshit. Imagine you're in a conversation with someone, they're nodding, making sounds, saying things like, I see how you feel, cool. But they're still fucking influencing you. You can't avoid it. Everyone, every single person has their own beliefs, values and ideas, whether they're aware of it or not. Let me give you a solid example. If you're talking to someone and they say, I get it, you're really stressed because of work. Sure, they're reflecting your words, but the fact they said that, in that tone, with that expression, it's subtly influencing you. Their energy, their posture, all of that shit. That's not neutral. They're influencing how you feel. That's the reality. Neutrality doesn't exist. Every moment you speak, you're influencing, whether you intend to or not. So, if you're working with someone in a therapeutic environment, it's important to acknowledge you're already passing on a moral framework. The real question isn't whether you're influencing, because you are. So what kind of influence are you bringing into the space? Anger and masculine traits. No, anger isn't bad, it's powerful. Let's talk about it. Anger's been painted as this evil, bad emotion, especially in therapy. But I'm going to tell you straight up, anger is powerful. It's one of the most misunderstood and underutilized emotions. Let's break this down. Imagine you're at work, and your boss asks you to do something that's completely unreasonable. You could let it slide, feel like crap, and do the work half-hearted. Or you could feel the anger rise and think, I'm not doing this, this is bullshit. I'm going to stand up and set a boundary. That's healthy anger. That fire inside you that says, enough is enough. If you can learn to channel that energy, instead of bottling up or pretending it doesn't exist, you'll be unstoppable. Therapists avoid this emotion because, frankly, they're not trained for it. They're afraid of the social ramifications, afraid of triggering the wrong reactions, and afraid of the emotional chaos that it can stir. But listen, anger is an engine, not a bomb. It can drive you to set boundaries, stand up for yourself, or take action when you feel powerless. Think about a lion that's cornered. If it doesn't get angry, it's dead. The anger gives it the power to fight back. Now imagine if that lion didn't know how to channel its anger. It would be stuck in a cage, suffocating. That's what happens when we don't use anger properly. It turns into a self-destructive rage. But used properly, it's like having a fucking superpower. So, if you want to stop feeling like a doormat, you need to embrace the anger. Give it space to breathe, channel that shit, because if you don't, it's going to come out sideways in unhealthy ways. Pop culture, social media, and the moral influence that you're not aware of. Let's address this next. Therapists, they like to think pop culture, social media, and the larger world outside of therapy doesn't influence you, but holy shit it does. It affects you every day. You're scrolling through Instagram and you see some influencer talk about how to manifest your dream life with zero effort. That's a fucking moral framework. It's saying if you don't manifest it, you're not living your best life. That's the message being sent to your brain. Here's the kicker. The brain doesn't care where the message comes from, whether it's your therapist or some influencer online. The brain takes it in. The world is constantly feeding you these frameworks. The question is, are you going to just let your brain be stuffed with random shit? Or are you going to intentionally choose what influences you? Let's go back to the example of therapy. If the therapist isn't addressing this kind of influence, then the client is just going to take all that moral messaging from pop culture and social media and run with it. The client will make decisions based on a set of values that were handed to them without being questioned, without any self-awareness. And that, my friend, is dangerous. You have to be the one driving the bus. Don't let social media be your fucking chauffeur. How do you already do it? How can you do it more? Let's zoom out a bit and chunk this down so it's clear how you're already doing this. You've been influencing people all your life, whether you knew it or not. Every conversation you've had, every decision that you've made, it's been a moral influence. Even when you didn't try, your actions, words and body language, they were still influencing people. So how can you do it more? Start by owning your influence. Realise when you speak, act or react, you're sending a message every fucking time. Pay attention to what you're saying. Every word counts. When you see someone expressing anger in an unproductive way, you can teach them how to channel it into something positive. Show them it's not about suppressing that emotion. It's about transforming it into power. Interrupt patterns. Whether it's your own or someone else's, you've got the power to change the conversation. The science of why this works. This works because of something called neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself. Every thought you think, every behaviour you repeat, every influence you take from your environment, it's all reshaping your neural pathways. So if you start consciously influencing your environment, consciously making decisions about what you absorb, you're essentially upgrading your brain. You're teaching it to see things from a new perspective, to make new connections, to grow. The karma of not doing it. If you don't take responsibility for your influence and let things just happen without questioning, you're walking around like a ship without a rudder, getting tossed around by every breeze, every wave, every passing influence. It feels like chaos. It's exhausting and worse. It makes you feel helpless. But when you take the reins and own your influence, your life becomes more stable, more focused, and infinitely more powerful. You're not reacting to life, you're creating it. So why are you afraid? The reason you're afraid to fully embrace this is because of the fear of rejection and the fear of conflict. If you start calling people out, challenging norms, or influencing the direction of conversations, you might feel like they'll push back or not accept it. But here's the truth. If they reject your influence, it's because they're not ready to grow. It's their shit, not yours. When you work with someone, pace them, mirror their energy, their language, their vibe. Once you've established that rapport, you can lead them somewhere new. You can lead them towards healthier ways of using anger, setting boundaries and breaking free from the moral influence that they've been absorbing from pop culture. You're always influencing, whether you want to or not. Anger is a superpower. Learn how to use it. Pop culture and social media, they're feeding your moral frameworks every day. Take charge of what you absorb. You can interrupt patterns, lead by example, and consciously use your influence to change your life and the lives of those around you. Neuroplasticity, it's rewiring your brain. Every influence counts, so make it count. Take this on. Own your power, own your influence, and stop letting the world shape you. You're the damn architect of your life. Now get out there and make it happen.